IT Nation Grow. Had the great pleasure of attending IT Nation Grow in December 2024 at ConnectWise headquarters downtown Tampa. Great event. Talk about mergers and acquisition, about growing your MSP. There was buyers there, sellers there. Just a great event and a great community that's being generated from it. I had a great opportunity to talk to 10 individuals while I was there. Really great conversations, really diverse group from very different backgrounds, some MSPs, some bankers, some PE firms, some vendors, really great conversations there. And I enjoyed every single one of them. It got crowded at particular points. Some of the audio might be tricky. It was a great event, IT Nation Grow, December 2024. I look forward to doing many, many more. Thank you, all 10 of you, for your time spending your time with me, having a conversation and listening to my questions. Thanks again.
Hi, I'm Joey Pinz, and here's my 45-second introduction. After starting my business in the 90s, I started developing poor habits of eating in my diet because of working way too much. I found myself at 340 pounds. The doctor told me if I don't lose the weight, I'm not going to see my daughter graduate. I took the next 7 months, lost 130 pounds. People ask me, how'd you do it? What's the secret? I need to lose weight. How'd you do it? How did I lose the weight? Just one word: discipline. I've had other successes in life, and I attribute them all to discipline. Now, I'm not the king of discipline, but I believe that it can help all of us. Friends convinced me to start a podcast. The podcast mission: how do we better ourselves and society? I talk to interesting people in health, fitness, sport, wellness, business, technology, science, art, and culture. And I eventually ask them how discipline plays a role in their life. Podcast vision: growth through learning from others. So why do you like triathlons?
I got into it, and it's very technical.
I've done 5 myself. Olympic.
Okay.
Yeah, and you? What's that? What are the
I'm
distance?
going up to the half. That's but
Yeah, I've got the same. You got the same aura ring.
Same.
Yeah. So did you start as a runner? Start as a swimmer?
cyclist. I think it's the worst way to start.
Why? Why?
Everything else is hard.
It is.
It is.
I hate to say it too. The cycling, at least you can take breaks, right? You don't have to pedal.
Yeah, it's different.
Right.
Yeah, you don't have to pedal all the time.
All the time, yeah.
But you can recover.
You can recover like when you're going downhill, yeah. But with swimming, you can't.
You can't stop
can't
swimming.
stop.
You can't stop running.
Stop
Or
running.
the machine stops.
Yeah. It's very tough. And the problem with biking is that you have to go for so long to get a really good workout, right? It's like, no.
Get some heels. Yeah.
And so you're in the city. You're in New York City.
In New York City, yeah.
So you're on West Side Highway. Where are you riding the bike?
Yeah, exactly. So go up the West Side, go up New Jersey, mostly, and then sometimes come back through New York and.
Wow.
And
Have you done the Alcatraz?
I've not done the Alcatraz.
Now that swim, that's a
tough swim.
That's a mile and a half, I believe, but in choppy
water.
Yeah.
I used to swim, and that was swimming pool swimming. It's very different.
Very different. Yeah. And where do you swim there? Can you swim in the Hudson?
Go to the beach.
You just go to the beach.
Yeah, go to the beach.
Jones?
Jones Beach, the closest. Long Beach. But that limits a lot here.
It does.
Open water swimming.
Yeah. So how many do you do a year?
3. 3 half. 2, 3 half.
Wow.
I try to do some Olympics and then to just
get in shape.
Get trained, like get your transitions like narrowed down. Yeah.
Yeah, I would do sprints to get warm up for my Olympics, but I stopped doing them because I just started running.
It's a lot of time.
It's a lot of time, and the running pounds. The running.
Yeah.
Hurts.
And I'm coming to running, so I started with the cycle. I was swimming, but not swimming. I was just
Yeah.
in the water.
I got trained to be a swimmer, and I ended up loving the swim. And I can go forever, but just not fast.
Slow, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
just
what I was
slow.
doing. I could do like 8K, and
Right.
that would take me a long time.
Yeah.
Then I did the bike and found it like amazing. And then I'm like, oh, I'm running, I'm swimming. Why not try to run? So that's why it's hard.
It is. And of course, the swimming, when you start off, they don't do it purposely a lot of times. You kind of get kicked. And it's all
stressful,
it's
so
stressful.
Yeah.
And we had to go out, circle some buoys and come back. Probably the same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
Most of the time. Yeah. Some of them are river.
The river.
Those are the nice ones. You go straight
with the current.
With the current.
Unless
we used to have the New York Olympic.
I didn't know.
In the Hudson.
In the Hudson.
Yeah. So that's what most people will say.
Well, it's better than the East River. No?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But you will have the tide to help you.
The tide.
But surprisingly, that was the tide back that would help you. So you won't have the current. They will not use the current and the tide. They will use the tide against the current.
I see.
Unless I recall a few times where there were high winds as well.
Really?
And you could wish what you wanted from the tide wasn't helping enough.
Wow.
So those were tough. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
So we're here at IT Nation Grow here in downtown Tampa in early December.
Yeah.
So why are you here? What are some of your goals here, Sam?
Connecting. It's connecting with MSPs that are looking to transact, and also educating them towards a transaction. I think most of the audience is thinking about an exit, maybe not tomorrow, but maybe in a couple of years, and they need to be prepared for it. And I want to use some of what I've learned through the years to help them get prepared, and hopefully at one point have a discussion with them towards an exit.
And why help MSPs do it? What do you like about it?
Found their own for most of them. It's their really their life. The transaction is gonna make a difference for them and for their families, potentially leave a legacy. And I think that's it's something I like in my job, transforming lives.
And what's your background, Sam?
I was in IT, left IT for technology banking, and come back through technology banking into the tech-enabled space and the MSPs.
What's technology banking?
Software.
Oh, like fintech.
As well, yeah. Well, actually, I was in fintech.
I say.
But software, all kind of software. I've done telco software. Could have been ConnectWise when they were a little bit smaller. Yeah.
And your firm is in New York City.
We are headquartered in New York City. We have offices in the US, in LA and San Francisco, in Europe, in Paris, London, Munich, and Berlin.
Wow.
So we're about 70 bankers.
And so are you a banker? Are you a private equity firm?
We're bankers.
You're a banker. So what's the difference?
Oh, we represent companies that are looking to buy or to sell. We don't have our own capital. We are not conflicted. We really represent our client.
And so when an MSP is thinking about selling and they come to you, why would they come to you?
They want to get advice. We're advisors first and foremost. They come to us. They want to have an idea of what's ahead, what kind of value they could expect, maybe what kind of timing they should think about, what are the pitfalls in running a transaction, and they want to know, like you, they want to know why they will hire us rather than doing it on their own.
And why should they?
We've transacted more than 400 times representing founder-owned or PE-owned companies. I myself am probably at 80 times.
Wow.
That's going to be their one transaction that will define what they will do with the rest of their lives. They need to get it right. They there's no room for error.
Sam, it's interesting. When you're representing an MSP, it's got to be a lot different when you're working with a PE firm.
It's very different, but
Yes.
it's also a little bit the same where the PE firm, we represent the PE firm when they own an asset like an MSP.
I see.
So ultimately, we sell the same type of asset. When we're on the sell side, we sell the same type of asset, but there is a lot more education to be done when it's founder-owned because it's their first time, and there is a lot more analytics and also, I would say, preparation when it's a PE firm because they are looking for very specific elements in a transaction.
So when you talk to MSPs, I'm a former MSP and I wasn't ready to sell, but buyers came to me. It didn't stop the buyers from coming. And then I eventually got an offer I just couldn't refuse. So when you talk to MSPs, even if they're even considering it, what should they do? What should they do to prepare?
I think it's a little bit putting their ducks in a row, getting their financials properly organized, knowing what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, what are the opportunities, how are they organized, what are the methodologies they use, who are the strong people that they think, if it's an owner, who could they put in management team if the owner was gone, what can they do to move from a founder sales to a team sale because it's going to be important for the next phase. It's almost putting thought into what are the attributes that makes them a good asset for the next owner rather than for the current founder owner.
It's a lot of the MSPs, this is their baby, and there is a
lot of emotion.
Yes, a lot of emotions. Arlen mentioned one that he just talked to. They thought it was worth a certain amount, and they found out that it wasn't. I mean, it could be heartbreaking when reality hits.
Yeah, it's tough. We have those conversations ahead. We put a valuation, what we think the valuation, what the market will value the company forward, so that to limit a little bit that risk of like putting all that energy towards a sale because it's distracting. It takes you away from selling as a business, like ramping up growth and sales. For the founder, even if we take a lot of work on our shoulders, the founder still has to do the work, and the team also, the accounting team and so on. So that the process is distracting. So you don't wanna do all that and then hear the market tell you it's not what you were worth.
Right.
And through our experience in transactions, being in touch with the market on a daily basis, we can give a sense of value to the founder or to the owner and say, yeah, this is what you may get. Are we in line with what you expect? And if you get that, will you transact?
Wow.
We obviously try to get the best value possible, but we want to make sure that we are in line and no surprises after 3 months of work.
Yeah, the MSP has to really kind of get out of the mode of a lifestyle and kind of really get everything in order.
It's fine if it's a lifestyle, but get a couple of the next things to do is put those things in order, integrate that into your processes for the next couple of months, and then get ready, or you're getting ready for the transaction.
Right.
And it helps because you don't wanna. We know what the questions are gonna be. We know what the requests are gonna be, so we can front that and say, hey, when you are ready with all this, that's when we can go to market, and not go to market and then be reactive all the time, because that's very stressful and difficult.
It sure is. Sam, has there been anything in the recent weeks or month that you changed your mind on?
Maybe not change my mind, but I was curious in the past year. There weren't a ton of platform sales in the MSP world, and because of mostly because of high interest rates,
right,
and uncertainty, and those was the purple guys transacting to Antiva. I was very curious how it will transact and whether that will trigger a number of other platforms to trade. We just saw last week Integris, for example. I'm working with a couple of firms on at least 2 other platform buy sides.
Wow.
And that's what I know. So, and I know a couple that will come to market shortly after.
So the results is that you were concerned about it, but now you realize it's.
Yeah, I was wondering whether that would really. I was thinking it will trigger more platform sales, and it did, but it could have gone the other way around. So I'm glad it's more activity in the MSP space. Those platforms are changing hands, mostly from PE to PE, but that reignites the appetite for M&A. Both from a platform perspective, but from an add-on perspective, add-ons are larger for those larger platforms. It's really a catalyst for more activity, and given the laws of supply and demand, it creates an uptick in valuations as well.
Wow. So Sam, I started my MSP in the 90s. I was working way too hard. I hadn't done any of the triathlons yet. And next thing I know, I'm at the doctor's office at 340 pounds. And she says to me, if I don't lose the weight, you're not going to see your daughter graduate. My daughter was just born. I don't know.
Well, you did a good job.
Yeah. So it took 6-7 months. I lost about 130 pounds. And I kept it off. And people ask me how. What's your secret? And there's no secret, Sam. I said discipline. That's how I left it off. I just willpower, routine, and that's how I keep it off. How does discipline play a role in your life, Sam Levy?
So I do marathon. I wake up between 4 and 5 every day.
Do you really?
Whatever happens. I came in late last night here, and I was still up at 4.
Wow.
Went for a run. Went for the gym.
Did you really?
Yeah. Try to make room for that to happen. It's not always possible, but try as much as you can. It's you have to be a little bit. So it's discipline. It's a little bit rigid.
Yes.
You need to know when to be flexible. I'm coming back, and Friday I have my daughter's concert at 8, and I have to take her to school first, and I'm not sure I will be able to go swim and run before. So we'll see. That's where you have to be flexible and consider other things in your lives too. And look, sometimes you just have to
prioritize. Yeah. And so even in banking, when working with the MSPs, discipline is mandatory.
And for your clients, you have to find that discipline. You may have seen me taking a call in the middle of the conference. I had a client call, couldn't move it, tried.
Right.
That's client first, anyways. Yeah, in my world.
Sam, thank you so much for your time today.
You. Yeah, that's great.
This will be released soon. I really appreciate it.
Thanks,
you
Joe.
be well. Thank you for listening and or viewing Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations. Please share this episode with 1 or 2 of your friends who you think may benefit from the episode. Our website, www.joeypinz.com. There you'll find lots of resources, and you could join our mailing list. Please follow us on all our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Podcast information, the video version of our podcast is on YouTube. Please subscribe. Audio is on all major podcasting platforms. Please follow them. And if you like it, please consider giving 5-star rating. Would really appreciate that. Thank you again for listening or watching Joey Pinz Discipline Conversations.